I really appreciate everybody being here. Like I said earlier, I'm actually located in Northern Virginia. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. And we're just gonna cover three core things tonight, and I really hope that you walk away with some new information. So I kind of said earlier, we're going to use the chat to kind of have a conversation together. So feel free to open that up. Cameras can stay off, but the more interactive we can be, the more exciting it is. So, all right, we are going to dive in. So you are here because you want to know how to sustainably lose weight, and you've probably tried a million things before. We're going to talk about all the things that you've probably tried. But right now, this is your time. You committed to it. Lock the door, put the kids away, and we're gonna get down and dirty. Now it's hopefully probably like half an hour, maybe a little bit more. Um, but yeah, let's jump in. So, my promise to you guys is that by the end of this training, I will show you how to shift away from common weight loss misconceptions and traps so you can lose the weight in a sustainable way and keep it off for life without feeling hungry all the time. And specifically, you're going to discover why what you've been doing for years or months to lose weight, why it's not working. And I'm going to walk you through what does. Just imagine not having to do all the Googling, the trial and erroring, and just doing what works. What I'm going to share with you, I personally did, and it changed my life. And I know it can change yours too. So, as we get into this, I want you to tell me if you can relate to any of these things. Oh, it's going to be slow. That's okay. Um, are you tired of wearing leggings all the time because jeans are uncomfortable? Are you fed up with social media influencers making everything seem so easy and then not getting the same results? Are you cutting carbs, cutting sugar, or exercising your ass off and feeling miserable doing any of those things? Are you unsure how to get that lean, toned body of your dreams? And are you unsure about words like macros, tracking, fiber, protein? Maybe like you know what some of them mean, but you just don't know how any of it works. If you can relate to any of those, type yes in the comments. And maybe if you feel comfortable, the letter of what you relate to most. I know all of these were things that I definitely felt and did. Um, I kind of realized I had to change things when I realized all I was wearing was leggings because all of my pants were uncomfortable. So, all right. So, if you are sitting there nodding your head relating to any of these, I promise I have done all of these things, like I said. And I promise that whatever it is that you are doing and that it's not working, oh, I had one more on there. Um, but it's not your fault, right? You don't know what you don't know. And there is so much information out there, and it's hard to know who is right, who to trust. And if you feel anything like I did when I was trying to lose weight, I would have just done about anything to get rid of the weight, but nothing seemed to work. All right, so this is just my cute little thing because what I'm about to share with you is the most effective way to lose weight. And you're going to wake up every day excited to pick out your outfit. You're not going to have to rely on TikTokers or models on Instagram to tell you what to do. You'll be able to keep up with your kids, your grandkids, for me, my dog. You'll be able to stop the binging and the guilt and embarrassment that comes from it. And you'll finally feel confident. So, hopefully, these are things that you are looking forward to feeling because weight loss is not just a physical transformation, it is also a mental one. So, before we go any further, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Amanda Gill, and I am a weight loss coach. I'm a nutritionist, a personal trainer, an educator, a dog mom. I am the founder of my company, the Warrior Bird Wellness, and my online program, The Lasting Weight Loss Blueprint. So I support frustrated women who are ready to lose the weight without cutting carbs or killing themselves in the gym. I used to be about 50 pounds heavier than I am today. And I use this knowledge that I'm about to share with you to lose the weight. But the most important thing is that I have kept it off. I will probably say this 100 times, but I am extremely grateful that you are all here and that you showed up and signed up. And I hope that I can help everybody in some way. So, just to get a little bit vulnerable, this was me about 7 years ago when I was struggling with my weight. Um, I did a lot of toggling between dieting and binging. Like, for example, I would be so good all week, right? And then the weekend would hit and boom, I feel like if I ate one bad thing, I ruined all my progress. So I would just kind of say, pardon my French, fuck it. And let me just get it out of my system. So I would just like eat everything that I could. Like, oh, I'm just going to have a cheesesteak and I'm going to have some pizza. And it was just this vicious cycle. Um, and I just continued to try things, working out, cutting carbs, the skinny teas, shakes, protein bars. I just could not lose the weight. And again, I would get like pissed off or I would treat myself because I'd been working so hard. And I would get into binge mode where there was not an off button. And I would just eat and promise I would start over again on Monday, right? Even if it was like a Tuesday. Has anybody here kind of felt like that before or gone through anything similar? Just go ahead in the chat. Yeah, definitely. It's such a vicious cycle. And like these words I have on the side, I was embarrassed, I was uncomfortable, I would feel guilty, and I was unhealthy and I was overweight. Um, so I felt all of these things and I decided to get my shit together. Um, so I decided I was done. I needed to figure this out. I didn't care what I had to do, but I had to do it right. I didn't want to do a 30-day challenge. I didn't want to do another fad diet. I didn't want to go try and find the shot that everybody's getting. I wanted to like find healthy habits. So I started the journey that got me to where I am today. Um, and I made this decision to figure out what I had been doing wrong. And now this is me recently, confident, happy, healthy, strong, mentally and physically, and proud. Because once I learned the information, a little quote from Oprah: when you know better, you do better. And this goes back to where it is not your fault when you try all the things, because if there's so much information out there, it's just you don't know. So I'm going to tell you. Um, so although, I had this plan, whoops, wrong one. Although I had this plan and I learned all this stuff, there's still going to be struggles, right? And anybody that promises quick and easy weight loss is not telling the truth, right? Because for this to be sustainable and for this to be healthy, it's going to be a struggle. You're going to have to put in some hard work. So I don't want to make this seem like, oh, do this and it's easy, because it's not. It is hard work, but it is going to get you the results. Um, Another thing, I don't know if I have some gym girlies on here. I was an athlete my whole life. And when I realized that I had gained all this weight, I thought, okay, I'm just going to run it off. Like, let me just start running. Let me hit the gym. I thought that it would just get me right back in shape and it would just get me skinny. I did cardio, I did the stair stepper, lifted weights, like everything you see on the internet. I just tried it all. Now, first of all, without a plan, I was not getting anywhere. But more importantly, you cannot out exercise a bad diet, right? So if your nutrition is not on point, going to the gym will still have great benefits, don't get me wrong, but weight loss will not be one of them. So it took a lot of time and patience. There was no way I could have arrived at this strategy I now use and teach without having invested in my professional education and becoming an expert in nutrition in the body. Um, and I was just committed. I was committed to not going back to my old ways. And I'm going to tell you what I did. So, we're going to walk through three core concepts of tonight's class. So, this is where we're just kind of getting into the nitty gritty. We're kind of past my little introduction. Our core concept number one: the real reason why whatever you have been trying has not been working. Okay. So, let me know in the chat if you have tried any of these or any of these resonate with you. Maybe you have tried adding exercise or movement to your day. Maybe you joined a gym, Pilates, Inclined walks, that was very popular last year, adding some kind of exercise. Often people try the fad diets, the TikTok trends, the magic fixes, like the green drinks, apple cider gummies, keto, Herbalife, fasting, um, Ozempic, right? A lot of people turn to stuff like that for help. This is one of my personal favorites. Trying to change everything at once, because who did this January 1st? I am going to go to the gym. I'm going to drink all of my water. I'm going to get in all of my steps. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to journal. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to walk, and I'm going to prep my meals. Right? And then what happens? Maybe you do it for a couple days, but it's not sustainable. Other things you've probably tried, or at least I did: cutting carbs or fat, avoiding breads, pasta, sometimes fruit, choosing reduced fat options or foods. Maybe other practitioner prescribed diets or methods. So there's Ozempic, Metafast, Jenny Craig, Ali, Optavia, Nutrisystem. Maybe even you worked with a nutritionist or a doctor who gave you fully created meal plans already. We're going to talk about why that is not always worth it either. And then another one of my favorites: eating perfect all week and planning a cheat meal for the weekend, right? I would say, okay, Monday through Friday, I'm so good. And Saturday, I'm going to eat what I want. I deserve it, or I just need to get it out of my system. So, what we're going to do now, I wonder if I have one more. Okay, now we're going to talk about why those things do not work, right? Because, like I said, you see all this information, especially like cutting carbs, and you see it and you see people say it works. We're going to talk about why these things don't work, at least on their own. So, bear with me here. So, adding exercise or movement to your day. So, exercise only accounts for 5 to 15% of your daily caloric expenditure. Okay. What that means is it doesn't matter if you bust your ass in the gym one day, you are actually not burning as many calories as you think you are. Now, adding movement and exercise is great. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a personal trainer, I go to the gym every day, but it is not the key to losing weight. When it comes to those fad diets, those TikTok trends, the magic fixes, there is no magic pill, there's no special drink. Um, the only way you can lose weight is to be in a caloric deficit. Okay. And we're going to talk about that later. If anything promises reduce belly fat, lose weight quick, not true. Calorie deficit equals fat loss, and that is it. Um, when you're trying to change everything at once, like I said earlier, it's frustrating when you want to do everything in one week and it's unsustainable. It's just, it's, you're not going to last. Your work life balance gets all messed up. It's just not going to work. All right, cutting carbs or fat, because this is such a big one. Carbs get such a bad rap. Carbs and fat are macronutrients or macros. Okay, the three macros in your body are carbs, fat, and protein. And we're going to talk about those a little bit later. Your body needs carbohydrates and fats to function properly. Okay, because think about it. Have you ever tried to cut all your carbs out of your diet? How do you usually feel? In my experience, I usually am tired. I'm usually cranky. I have no energy, right? Because carbohydrates are your body's biggest source of energy. Moving on to other practitioner prescribed diets or methods. These can be helpful, right? We've seen people on Ozempic. I have people that did a weight loss program called Metafast. They lost a lot of weight. Okay. Maybe, like I said, you have someone that made meal plans for you and that worked for you. I want you to think about this. What happens when you stop, right? All those people on Ozempic, and I'm not like trying to bash Ozempic, but what happens when you stop? What happens when you are on a program and you're following the program and you lose all this weight and then you stop? Okay. Same thing goes for those meal plans. If you've ever worked with that, no one's going to be there giving you meal plans the rest of your life, right? You have to, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but you have to have the knowledge yourself to be able to implement the same things that these programs are implementing. Um, why eating perfect all week and planning a cheat meal for the weekend is not working. We do not want to make food a reward, especially when then you try and restrict yourself the rest of the week. We need to focus on unattaching emotions from food, which is hard because I still sometimes do that. Food is fuel for our body. It should not be a reward. Now, of course, we're always going to have the cake or the dessert or the special, but when we set these thoughts or these goals of I'm going to be good in quotations all week and then treat myself on the weekends, you're actually messing with your brain, right? You're telling your brain that food is a reward and now you're going to restrict yourself and your brain's not going to be happy. And you're more likely to binge when your perfect week gets messed up, especially in my experience. So, we're going to go into the root cause. Okay. The real reason why all of these actions you have been doing to try and lose the weight and why they have not worked is because they have not addressed the root cause of your weight loss problems, which is unmanaged macronutrients and poor habit building. Okay. So unmanaged macro intake is it's going to be the biggest reason you are not losing weight. Calories come from macros. This is like a little quick science lesson. Calories come from macros. Macros not only affect how many calories you consume, but how your body uses these calories. Carbohydrates, fat, protein. That is where all of your calories come from. Now, weight loss occurs when your calories consumed are less than your calories burned throughout the day. But not all calories are created equal. This is why just counting calories does not work because if I said, okay, you want to eat 1,700 calories a day and you eat 1,700 calories worth of Cheetos versus 1,700 calories worth of balanced macros, you're going to feel a lot different. Your body's going to feel a lot different, right? And your macros need to be balanced too, because even too much of a good food can lead to a stall in weight loss or even weight gain. Okay, you see this a lot with people who are not managing their macros and they're like, well, I'm just eating protein and I'm having chicken at every meal and Greek yogurt and my eggs. If you don't know what you're putting in your body, if you are not in that calorie deficit, you're not going to lose the weight, even if you're eating great things. Um, we talked about weight loss. We talked about exercise. Sorry. So, this is the same thing with all those fad diets you're trying, the supplements, the juices, the shakes. Unless you're in a caloric deficit, the weight will not fall off. Those apple cider vinegar gummies are not increasing your metabolism, right? The keto diet, where you think you can eat as much bacon as you want, is not going to lead to lasting weight loss. Now, has keto worked for people? It has. And keto normally works when you are under the direct care of a doctor because it is really biologically strict on how to get your body into ketosis, which is what keto is. But it's the same thing. Once you're off keto and you start eating carbs again, your body is literally like, oh my gosh, carbs, we haven't had these. I'm going to save them all for later. And what it does is it actually makes you gain weight. So, all of this together also takes habit building because this is where the sustainability comes in. If you want the weight loss to last for life, you also have to be making healthy choices throughout the habits that we want to start instilling now. Um, you need to look at the whole body, right? A lot of people sometimes they just want to lose the weight so badly, they forget about their health and the other things that are attached with being healthy. So, some of these habits include obviously your nutrition, we're talking about your water intake, your alcohol intake, your movement or your exercise, your sleep, your stress management. All of these things can impact your metabolism and just impact how your body works. And our goal here is weight loss, but again, it's sustainable weight loss. And adding these habits and managing these habits is just another step. Um, core concept number two: what is stopping you? All right. This is not a willpower problem. It's not a motivation problem. Like I said earlier, there's so much information out there. And a lot of times we're so desperate that we're just going to try anything that promises results. Again, it's not your fault if you didn't know, if you don't know. That's why they're called fad diets. That's why they're called trends, right? Because they're out there for us to gobble up. And we're seeing these models using it, thinking that it'll help us, and then it doesn't, right? So, the only way to do this to really lose the weight sustainably is the research backed, the science based way of understanding the nutrients in your body, what your body needs, and then understanding and planning and tracking what goes into your body, mostly the macronutrients, carbs, fats, and proteins. So, at this point, we're kind of getting on the path of what I use, and that's macronutrients, habits. So here are some things that might be popping in your head right now to kind of battle me, to kind of have excuses, or kinds of things you might be thinking. Okay, I don't want to track and plan my food the rest of my life. Okay, I do track all of my food. It is not calorie counting, however, we are managing my your macros. And I will talk more about how once it becomes a habit, it is super easy. Oh, I thought that I had a little thing like that. But tracking your food intake gives you so much knowledge about what you're putting into your body. And you will not lose weight if you do not know exactly what is going in. Again, calorie deficit equals weight loss. You cannot make sure you are in a calorie deficit unless you know how many calories and what is going in. Okay. That's like point blank, end of discussion. You have to know what's going in order to create your plan. You might say you don't have time. So the goal is never to make your life more challenging, right? There's many ways to stick to a plan, and this is where habits come in. Okay. But like I said earlier, we're not just trying to start all of our habits at once. You want your habits to kind of layer on each other to become sustainable. You don't need to do everything at once. You kind of want to push everything in a little bit at a time. Okay. And people that say they don't have time, how much time have you or are you wasting on these other methods that aren't working? Right. All right. Next, if and or buts. My family is picky. I can't change everything. All right. I've definitely heard this one before, especially with women with children. Now, there are so many ways to create healthy meals that appeal to everybody. Healthy does not mean bland or boring. It does not mean chicken and rice every night. It is totally possible to find options that everyone will enjoy. And it's all about gradual changes in the beginning. So it's not like we're going to upheave everyone's meals and make everybody go organic and gluten free and crazy like that. Um, okay, I have gotten this one before. My partner likes me the way that I am. And my response to that is awesome. Sounds like a great guy, girl. But why are you here? Right? You're here for a reason. You feel uncomfortable. You don't have the confidence. You know that you deserve a healthy and happy life, right? You are the only one living in your body, and you deserve to feel confident, healthy, happy, and proud of yourself. I love that your partner likes you how you are, but they don't have to live in your skin, right? This is about you, not them. All right, and my last two, which are very common. I've already tried so much, I don't think this will work, or I'll always be overweight. Hold on one second. Okay, never mind. Um, And like we talked about earlier, the ways you have tried to lose weight were unsustainable and they did not attack the root cause of the unmanaged macros and habits. Even if you've tried to manage your macros before, maybe you didn't have like the community, maybe you had a coach, you probably didn't know the science behind it or how your body's actually affected by macros and how your body uses the macros. Excuse me. You probably tried to change everything at once instead of following a systematic approach of layering the habits, like I said, to get your whole body healthy. This is not a secret weapon. right? This is not some new weight loss discovery that's going to blow everything else away. I'm not like coming up and coming with this new secret. This is just the science. This is the biology. It's not sexy or pretty or shiny. It doesn't scream 30 days beat to a beach body, but if you do it right, it will make you feel sexy and pretty and shiny, right? I'm not, it's just, it's not glamorous, but it's what works. All right, on to core concept number 3. So, this is the discovery I made that changed everything, which is really what I've kind of been talking about with the root cause. Um, and I'm really passionate about this because I am living proof that it works, right? I changed my life by doing the things I'm about to talk about, and you can too. And I want to help people learn this because so many people are out there. Like I said, there's so much information out there. I'm on these Facebook groups where people are just asking questions, and I just want to help everybody. And the proof is in the pudding, right? I've shown you the before and after pictures, I've lived it. So I know it works. So I discovered that in order to get rid of the weight in a healthy and sustainable way, I needed these 5 things. All right. The first thing I needed to do was to address the root cause. I needed to understand the knowledge and the facts around weight loss. I didn't understand the purpose of macros and what my body needed to be healthy, but I knew I had to be in a calorie deficit. But I had to learn it all, right? Without the knowledge, I was never going to be successful. And these 4 pillars are the foundation of the lasting weight loss. This is what you need to address to finally lose the weight. You need to manage your macros. You need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to have some knowledge around nutrition so that when you walk into a grocery store, you know how to find the right foods. And then you need those habits, your habits around water and sleep and stress management. All right. The second element I needed, I needed a step-by-step plan that taught me what to do and why, right? So taking those root causes, those 4 pillars, and making it into a plan. The first thing I needed was I needed macros that my body needed for my body and my lifestyle. Everybody is different. Okay. There are ways to calculate the exact amount, basically the exact amount of macros and calories that your body needs for your lifestyle. Everybody is different. Oh, there we go. And your needed intake will differ from everyone else's. I needed to know how to plan and track food to hit those needed macros. So, in order to be in a calorie deficit while giving my body what it needs to live and survive, you need to know exactly what's going in, where the tracking and the planning comes in. I needed to know how to read nutrition labels to make healthy choices. A lot of advertising on food is misleading. And when you're tracking your macros, you have to be as specific as possible. Right now, the big buzzword is protein, right? I think that going into 2025, you're going to see a lot about fiber. And when you're at the grocery store and you see something that says good source of protein or high protein, they can be misleading because something can have a decent amount of protein, but then it's got crazy calories or crazy fat. So you have to learn how to read those nutrition labels to make those choices. You also have to know how to create the balanced meals that fit your lifestyle. So when I say lifestyle, I don't like to cook. I am often on the go. Um, so I need stuff that just is easy. It fits in my schedule, but it gives me the nutrients I need. And for me, that is where meal prepping came in. On Sunday, I take an hour, I divvy out all my stuff, I weigh all my stuff, and then I'm good to go for the week, right? But I needed to figure out how to create those balanced meals. And again, that goes back to your specific macros for your body. Like I've said, creating habits around drinking water, sleep, wellness, stress management, and movement. Because this is a whole body healthy thing that we are going for, right? It's not just about the weight loss. And the last big one, choosing healthy options when on the go or eating out. Okay. Because eating out, it does not have to derail your success. And for me, I know a lot of time that is where I would quote unquote cheat, right? And then I would end up just binging because I had something at dinner that was not something that was on my plan. And then I just say, well, I'm just going to eat the cheesecake and I'm going to come home and I'm going to eat these Hershey Kisses and let me see where those Christmas cookies are. They're probably still good. And then it's just a snowball effect. So, knowing what your best choice is when you're eating out is also a big game changer. Um, so, element number 3, I had to, and you have to address your lifestyle and limiting beliefs. I had to ask myself these questions. How was I going to fit any changes in habits into my lifestyle? Where would I find the time? How would I implement these new habits that I wasn't used to doing? How could I show up for myself every day and not get down on myself when I was not perfect? Right? I don't know about you, but I struggle a lot with perfectionism, and then with that perfectionism comes a very all or nothing type of view of things, right? If I'm not perfect, then screw it. And what I've learned is that's where the consistency comes in, and that's where the self worth comes in, where I know I can't be perfect, but if I show up for myself every day, and if I no one's going to be perfect. If I hit a bump or I do something that I wish I didn't have, I just get back on the horse, right? So taking my lifestyle, looking at my priorities, my work life balance, and seeing where I could tweak things, add things in, and make the plan work for me was element number 3 of how I had this transformative weight loss. Element number 4 was a professional that I could ask questions and get support from. Like I said, TikTok, Google, there's so much out there, right? So I relied heavily on like my research, and then I had help from my coaches and the professors when I was learning all of this stuff to become a nutritionist and personal trainer. They helped me understand the how behind weight loss so that I could focus on what to do and actually doing it. So, and don't get me wrong, there's tons of great resources out there, but I was just so done with the trial and error. I was done with trying to weed through it all. I just needed facts. And lastly, just to have a sense of community and accountability with others going through the same thing I was, right? Sometimes you feel like you're the only person that feels this way. You listen to those negative voices in your head, and you can very quickly get yourself back in the hole that you might be in now or that you felt in the past. Like I said, this is not a willpower or really a motivation issue because there's going to be days where you don't want to do it, but knowing that you have people that have your back is totally going to help you. And it allowed me to stay consistent, which ends up turning my plans into habits. And now I don't even have to think about doing anything that I set up, right? All right. So going through, we're just going to do a quick review of the core concepts I just went over so that we can talk about what we learned and the next steps. So, you are here, you are frustrated, you might be overweight, you want to make a change. You've probably tried all the things, probably spent too much money and time trying to lose the weight. You might be annoyed, defeated, maybe just given up hope. And I have been there. I came out the other side, I lost the weight, but I gained so much mentally and emotionally that really has changed my life. And that's really what it comes down to, right? The confidence, the energy, the self-love for me and my body, the strength, mentally and physically. And it really is out there for you to have too. So just reviewing the real reason why whatever you have been doing hasn't been working. You don't know enough about the body, what it needs, and how to lose weight sustainably. When you cut nutrients like carbs from your diet, you're going to have a negative effect on your whole body and how it works. When you're working out like crazy, you're not burning as many calories as you think. And if you're not changing your diet, Nothing big is going to happen anyway. If you're trying to start on a Monday, on January 1st, changing everything you're doing, it's not sustainable. You need a plan, right? You need a plan to layer the habits on each other, and you need the knowledge about what your body needs and why. And all these fad diets and TikTok trends, just fake news, right? Core concept number 2, we talked about what is stopping you. I said the real method of sustainable weight loss, it's nothing new. It's not sexy. But it's research based, it's science, and that doesn't make it easy, but it is pretty simple. It's not about the willpower, it's not about your motivation, it's about consistency and knowledge. You're not a failure because you tried to cut carbs and couldn't make it through a weekend. Your body needs carbs. Your body was probably screaming for carbs. But you just need to know how many carbs and the other macros that your body needs to survive. And you need to know what exactly you are putting into your body so you can plan yourself into a caloric deficit, which is the only way to lose weight. You can come up with excuses, but the facts are the facts. And like I said, I'm living proof. I've done this and it has worked for me and tons of other people and a lot of my clients as well. And core concept number 3, the discovery I made that changed everything for me. And this took me years to figure out, right? The fad diets, the cutting the carbs, the exercise, I tried it all. The spin class on Saturdays. Although I love a spin class, great for my mental health, but it was not going to contribute to my weight loss. So I learned about nutrition and the body and weight loss, and the fact that by planning and managing the macros that I put into my body would give me the power to then put myself in a slight caloric deficit, which then leads to weight loss. And it's tricky because, like I said, it's not just counting calories, it's not just meal planning and prepping, it's a little bit of everything. It's making sure you're giving your body what it needs, making sure you're managing your stress, you're drinking your water, you're sleeping well, knowing how much of a food you are eating and what that food contains. I cannot even explain how many health foods like protein bars are out there that people think are healthy that are loaded with fat and sugar, just loaded. And ultimately, knowing how to manage all of these things, it's not going to feel like a burden. It's not going to feel like this tall order because when you layer them on top of each other and you kind of do it slow and steady, it just becomes second nature. You get to a place where you don't even think about it because it's just a part of your life. And that makes it sustainable. That is why now I'm 5 years later and I still have kept the weight off because it's just a part of my life. I just have a plan for everything, but it's just embedded. Okay. So here's some reasons you might have showed up today. You want to lose weight without having to give up X, Y, or Z. I love sweets. I love dessert, right? How do you eat dessert and still lose weight? You 100% can. And anybody that says you can't is lying. It has to fit in your macros, but there are ways to make it work. Maybe you want a simpler way to achieve a banging body without going to the gym 5 times a week, right? Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're a mom. You don't have time to go to the gym. You do not have to exercise to lose weight. That is a big myth that definitely needs to be busted. Maybe you want everyone at the next holiday party to comment on how damn good you look, right? I always look forward to that, like Christmas. I'm like, oh, maybe somebody will be like, oh, you look so good. Like Christy, I'll give you a shout out. Christy, you look so good. I'm like, thank you. But it feels good, right? I'm not going to lie. Makes me feel good about myself. You want to stop feeling frustrated, embarrassed, ashamed of your body. You want to feel confident, empowered, and proud. You're probably, pardon my French, just fucking done with trying everything without seeing results, right? And you showed up today because you know you deserve better, right? You came here tonight because you know you deserve better. You know that this is possible for you. So in the beginning, I made a promise to you that I was going to show you how to shift away from common weight loss misconceptions and traps so you can lose the weight in a sustainable way and keep it off for life without feeling hungry all the time. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. Everything I've shared with you today isn't some random theory or some idea that might work. This is not a fad, right? Everything I walked you through today, it worked for me, it works for my clients, it's working for my clients, and everybody has started really from the same place you are now. I am not special. They are not special. We all have jobs and families and dogs and carpools and time to cook dinner. But if they can do it and I can do it, I am very confident that you can do it too. Right? You already know this, and that is why you're here. All right. So, moving on to my last little spiel, do you want help? And you really have a choice here, right? You can continue to do what you've been doing, the yo-yo dieting, the following the influencers, trying to find a doctor to give you that shot, hoping that it works, just trying all the things. Um, I mentioned earlier, I do have an online program called the Lasting Weight Loss Blueprint, and it comes with a proven system and accountability, and you can get to your goal and make it last. So, like I said, I've kind of mentioned my program a little bit. Um, And I'm not going to jump into that exactly, because my job is to give you the right information so that you can stop the struggle with weight loss. So, what I do offer is a weight loss advisory session. And this is the best way I can help you and how I kind of connect with other people is by personally talking to each of you to kind of see your goals, your struggles, where you are now. I have set aside some time, and actually, I'm going to put my link, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Um, oh, look at me not remembering how to use Zoom. Hold on a second. Do-do-do-do. All right, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Hopefully it links. Yep. And that's going to take you to my calendar where you can book a weight loss advisory session for free. This is what it'll look like when you bring it up. It says they're 60 minutes. Usually they're just like half an hour, but I like to do 60 just in case we're really chatting it up. And I did make sure that I had availability this Saturday, just in case anybody wanted to hop on and talk to me about it. And what we would talk about, like I said, your specific goals, your current struggles, possible future challenges or possible future things that you're looking forward to, like a wedding or a vacation or something like that, and any next steps that might come from this. The calls are done over the phone. I would just contact you at the start time of the call. The calendar should switch to your time zone. So Connie in Texas, it should switch, and like it'll work between the two of us and make sure we're at the right time. Um, but this is just kind of like your next step if you just want to pick my brain a little bit more. Um, so again, it's totally free. There's no catch. I'm just trying to get information out. I'm just trying to get myself out, right? I just want to help people because this worked for me. Um, and I could go into, well, this call is not for you if you want to blame others for your downfall, if you're looking for a quick fix, if you're not patient with yourself, if you're not committed to laying on healthy habits that support an entire healthy body. I say, I don't need willpower, I need commitment. And of course, if you're not really open minded, if you're going to be stubborn, sometimes I have people call and they want to like tell me I'm wrong. And I'm just like, why are we talking right now? Whatever work, stay in your lane. That's how I feel. So if you feel like I'm wrong, please do not book a call. But this call is for you if you're just ready to stop doing all the things that have not worked for you. If you know that, like I said, really in the beginning, that the road to success is not straight, it's windy. There's still going to be some struggles. I am not promising perfection, right? But you are committed. Um, Call is for you if you want to learn about nutrition, healthy habits, how to live a healthy life. If you're coachable, if you want support and accountability, and if you're just, again, tired of trying all of the things, and you're either getting short-term results or you're not getting any results. So again, booking a call would be a great next step if you want some more information and want me to kind of look at your own personal experience a little bit closer. And just some questions. Do you call me? I call you. So I would call you at that time. The call is usually half an hour, but I give us an hour just in case we're chatting it up. There is no catch. It's totally free. If you're busy, just book it and we can talk chat for 15 minutes if you just want to be really direct and kind of see what's going on. Um, and maybe you're like, well, I've tried managing my macros. I've done the tracking before and it didn't work. Why would this be different? Um, so I don't know where I lost my spot in my notes. Um, Tracking macros can be tricky, right? There is a lot that goes into tracking macros. And if you feel like you have tried it before, then we can talk through what exactly you were doing because it, like I said, it gets a little bit tricky. So if you're interested, especially if you've tracked macros before or worked with macros before, I would love to hear what you did and we can figure out why it didn't work. And my friends, that is it. I really cannot even put into words how much I appreciate you being here. Um, Feel free to reach out. There is my email. There's a Facebook group if you're not already on it. It's called Weight Loss Coaching Become Your Best Self. Putting information on there about upcoming webinars or any other free resources. Hopefully, you guys can book a call and we can talk a little bit more about your personal goals and experiences. And that's it. And again, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great night. Connie, stay warm in Texas. Um, and I will talk to you soon. So thank you very much. Thanks, Christy.